Election Day is less than a week away. Your ballot must be in the mail or you have to go to the polls in person no later than Tuesday, November the 8th. And a handful of races here in California could determine whether Democrats or Republicans win control of the House of Representatives. ABC 7 News anchor Liz Kreutz is here with more on the statewide races that we're watching very closely. Liz?
We are, Dan. Republicans right now are slightly favored to win back control of the House, but whether or not that does happen could come down to turnout in some very competitive California races. And in those races, Latino voters could be critical in determining the outcome.
Will Democrats or Republicans win control of the House of Representatives on Tuesday? The answer could be determined by just a handful of key races in California.
We have a situation in Congress where a flip of 5 districts will determine who controls Congress. So California does have the ability to impact the House in these competitive districts.
Political pollster Paul Mitchell is tracking roughly 7 tight races through the Central Valley down into Southern California. That includes District 47 in Orange County, where Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter, who has gone viral for her use of a whiteboard during congressional hearings, is at risk of losing her seat.
There are a number that are real nail biters. Those range also from being some that are Democratic held and some that are Republican held.
In each of these districts at play all across the state is that there is a significant Latino electorate.
Christian Arana is the vice president of policy at the Latino Community Foundation. He says Latino voters could be critical in determining the outcome of these races and thus the future of the House.
Latinos in California could ultimately decide who is in the majority come January 2023.
Both Arana and Mitchell say this is most true in 2 toss-up races. District 22 in the Central Valley, where Republican incumbent David Valadao is up against Democrat Assemblyman Rudy Salas, and District 27 in Northern LA County, where Republican incumbent Mike Garcia is up against Democrat Assemblywoman Christy Smith. Mitchell says their national modeling shows if Democrats can flip these 2 seats, then they have a good chance of winning the House.
That's how important that would be as a signal as to where the national mood is.
And right now, the national mood does seem to be swinging in Republicans' favor. But in a sign of how critical these races are for Democrats, President Biden will be in California tomorrow. He'll be campaigning for Democratic Congressman Mike Levin, who is also at risk of losing his seat near San Diego. Dan.
Liz, it's all fascinating as we get down to the wire here and across the country. As you well know, polls show that around the country, Republicans may currently have the advantage here at the last. Is that what you're seeing in these races in California as well?
Dan, broadly, yes, and that is why we're seeing Democratic Congress members like Katie Porter in such tight races. Right now, voters are really focused on issues like the economy and inflation. That said, here in California, Democrats do have some advantages. For instance, the fact that Prop 1, which would enshrine abortion rights into the state constitution, the fact that that is on the ballot, that is seen as a motivator that could get Democrats or even no party preference voters to go to the polls.
All right, it is going to be utterly fascinating on Tuesday. Liz, thanks very much.
Yeah.